telling you to visualize, to manifest. But what if I told you that's exactly why it's not working for you? If you've ever struggled to picture things in your mind, felt like you're doing it wrong, or thought maybe just manifesting isn't for you, this video is going to change everything for you. Hi, I'm Mar, and on this channel, we don't just talk about manifesting. We actually reprogram your reality. So if you've been watching my videos and you're ready to go deeper, like actually shift your self-concept, your money, your relationships, I do offer both self-paced programs and private coaching where you get my one-on-one attention. I'll leave everything linked down below. And if you're new here, you're gonna want to subscribe because we don't just operate from logic here. We operate from the identity. Today we're talking about visualization and more importantly, why you can't visualize. Because I promise you, you don't need it to get everything that you want. I'll leave today's timestamps right over here for you. Now let's get into this video. So if you can't visualize, let me take the pressure off of you for a bit. You don't need to visualize to manifest. And honestly, for some of you, trying to force visualization is exactly why it's slowing it down for you. Not everyone can manifest the same way. And this has been spoken about for quite some time. There are people who just can't visualize it at all. Like literally zero image in their mind. But one thing that will definitely help is hearing. And that's where this comes in. This is called the telephone technique. And if visualization has never clicked for you, this might be your thing. Instead of trying to see it, you can hear it. You create a short, natural scene where someone is telling you something that implies that you already have it or already received it, that it's already done. It's not robotic, it's not forced, it's normal because your brain responds to what's real and familiar, not what feels like you're trying too hard. So let's say that you're manifesting a relationship. You're not sitting there trying to picture someone's face or force an image. You're simply hearing someone say, wow, you guys look so happy together. I've never seen you like this before. Or even better, if you can hear your own voice. You hear yourself talking to a friend or a sibling, a parent, and you're just casually saying to them, I'm honestly so happy in my relationship. This is everything I've ever wanted. And then you hear their response back to you. That's it. It's short, it's natural, and it's done. And here's what I need you to understand. This is not a less powerful method. This is just a different access to the same outcome. But for me personally, visualizing is my thing. I've always been one to daydream since I was a child. And as I've practiced, I can see, feel, taste, touch everything very vividly. That's natural for me. But that doesn't mean that it has to be natural for you. Your power is in finding your dominant sense and then using that to your advantage. So if hearing feels easier for you, if it feels more real, if it clicks faster, that's your lane. And you need to stick to that one. And that's exactly what you should be using. And I want to say this for those of you that are stressing about the visualization and not being able to visualize. You don't need to be worried at all. And here's two reasons why. Even if you think you're not visualizing, you still are. Anytime that you think about something, your mind is forming some kind of impression. It might not be as clear or cinematic, but your subconscious is still receiving it. So if you're affirming and then you feel something, even a little excitement, relief, or knowing, you still are already impressing your mind. You literally cannot think of something without imagining it in some sort of way. So the pressure of, I'm not doing this right, you can drop that right now. And this is the part that most people miss. Visualization is not the goal. The technique is not the goal. The goal here is having the feeling of it already being done, of already having it. That's it. So whether you visualize it, you hear it, affirm it, script it, none of that matters on its own. All of these things are just tools. And I say that all the time. They are just tools to get you into that one state. I already have this. This is already mine. That's what impresses your subconscious. It's not about how you do it. It's about whether it feels real to you. And that's the standard. And this is where people mess up. They'll do the technique, they'll visualize, or use the telephone technique, or affirming, and then they go right back into their day, reacting to everything in the 3D world like it's final. Like really? That cancels everything out. You don't need to do one method perfectly. You need to be consistent in your identity throughout the day. So what should you actually be doing? You should be feeding your mind, your new reality all day long. Not in a forced way, but natural, internal dialogue. Thinking thoughts like, I'm happy. I love my life. Everything is always working out for me. I'm in such a secure, loving relationship. Simple, normal, repetitive, because that's what actually builds that belief. Even if you never visualize once, if your dominant thoughts align with your desire, you will still manifest it every single time. So stop forcing trying to do the technique perfectly and start focusing on who you are being all day. And if you're someone who's like, I don't even know what to think throughout the day, keep it simple. Like, I'm having an amazing day. Today has been such a great day. I can't believe I'm literally getting everything that I want. Everything is working out for me. That's it. You don't need a perfect script. You don't need long affirmations. Just a simple, repeated feeling of everything is working out for me. So throughout the day, your inner dialogue can sound like, my day is going so amazing so far. Everything is always working out for me. Everyone is so kind to me. I'm so happy with how everything is unfolding in my life so far. I love the way things are going right for me today. It's short, natural, easy to return to. But if you want something more specific, you can layer it up. I'm in such a secure and loving relationship. I'm proud of how successful I've become. My life feels so stable and abundant, but here's the real switch to it. This isn't just about repeating words. So embodying the version of you who already has it. How would that version of you think? Casually throughout the day, how would she think? How would they talk to themselves? What would feel normal to that version of you? That's the identity that you need to stay in. And that's where most people break the pattern throughout their day. They'll do the great visualization in the morning, or they'll affirm for a few minutes during a break, and then they spent the rest of their day reacting emotionally to everything that they don't like. You don't need to pretend that the 3D doesn't exist. It does exist, but you need to stop letting it define you. Your job is simple. Return to your chosen identity again and again and again. Not perfectly, just consistently. So when something shows up that doesn't match up with what you want, you don't spiral. That's not something you do. You don't assign meaning to it. You don't make it final. You just come back to, no, this is who I am. Because that version of you who already has what she wants, that version of you isn't checking, chasing, or reacting. They're settled, certain, and calm. And the more that you return to that, the more that you practice and return to that, the more natural it becomes. And then once it feels normal, that's when it shows up in your reality. The 3D. So don't overcomplicate it. You don't need the perfect method. You need consistency and identity. Be her, be that version of you, and stay there. And this is why the telephone technique works so well, especially if you don't visualize easily, because whether you realize it or not, you are already having inner conversation all day long. You're hearing people in your mind, you're replaying situations, you're anticipating what someone might say. It's happening automatically. So instead of trying to stop it, you redirect it. Your inner conversations are constantly shaping your assumptions, and then your assumptions become your reality. So if your inner conversations change, your results have no choice but to follow. Now you can do this in two really powerful ways. One was the telephone technique, where you can hear someone talk to you. You imagine overhearing maybe people even talking about you, and they're saying, wow, I can't believe how well she's doing lately. She's really leveled up. She looks so happy. Something shifted. And no, you don't need to make it negative or dramatic. Keep it aligned with the version of you you're already stepping into. Confident, admired, chosen, secure. And this is not just about doing this technique once. It's about what you're constantly feeding your mind. Because whether you're aware of it or not, you've already been conditioned to certain patterns of thinking. And those are the patterns that keep recreating the same results. So the goal isn't to fight your mind. It's to replace the default story. And the fastest way to do that is become the version of you who naturally thinks differently. Because the old you and the new you, they don't think the same. They don't interpret things the same way. They don't expect the same outcomes. So as you step into your new identity, you start notice the old thoughts start to feel irrelevant. Not because you're forcing them away, because they no longer match with who you are. That's when things start to move. Not when you do it perfectly, but when it starts to feel natural. So use the techniques, but more importantly, pay attention to the conversations you're having in your own mind, because that is what is creating everything. So if you take anything from this video today, let it be this. You don't need to visualize perfectly. You don't need the perfect technique. The only thing that matters is impressing your mind with that feeling of already having it, that it's yours. And then once you understand that, everything starts to become much more simpler, because you're not trying to do it right. You're just choosing who you are. You're deciding. And that's the real work. Stepping into the version of you who already has it and returning to that again and again and again throughout your entire day. Because no matter where you are right now, you are not stuck. stuck. You're just operating from a set of assumptions that can be changed. And then once those are changed, your reality follows. So try the technique, test what works for you, and more importantly, pay attention to what you're thinking and who you're being every day. So comment below which one you're gonna go ahead and try out first, the telephone technique, the eavesdropping, or just shifting your inner dialogue. I'd love to read your comments and see what you are going to try. If you're ready to go even deeper, like actually reprogram your self-concept, your relationship, your money, I do have programs and private coaching where you can get my full attention. Everything is going to be linked down below. If this helped you, make sure to subscribe and stay here because we don't just talk about manifestation. We actually change identities here. I'll see you on the next video. Bye!